Hello, everyone, and welcome in. It is March 16th, Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. This is our fourth episode, and I'm starting to get a little bit of a understanding of where we're going to go for here. I think I'm going to be doing shows Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not having shows. So I think that's what the schedule is going to be going forward. We'll see how that works out. But today, I kind of wanted to jump into social media a little bit. Obviously, Disney will be a part of that for sure. Um, but I want to talk about social media a little bit, how it's changed just a tad bit over the last 2 decades. And I'm going to lace it into my experience and Disney as well. And I'm just going to do this pretty quick and just kind of give a quick summary. Because obviously, a lot of you know the timeline. In the 2000s, we had MySpace, we had Facebook, and then we had Instagram and X, Twitter, and YouTube in there. So I kind of see those as the first five. And it's interesting when you look back at those first five, it was really much like you're following friends and people that you knew with those first five, especially at the beginning. And then it kind of evolved into, something different in the early 2010s and onward. But the reason I bring that up is TikTok was the platform that I really got going, I guess, with social media. Um, I had the Facebook and I had, Instagram and stuff like that, but I was really only following friends and people that I knew and really actually just telling my life. Which the funny thing about that is when social media started, we were telling the truth, or at least I was telling the truth about, my life and, what was going on and the fun events that were happening here and there. Then we got to TikTok, and um, TikTok almost discourages you to be around people that you know in a way, because if you go to the For You page, it's pounded with accounts that you've never seen before or people you don't know. And in certain cases, this is one thing I don't love about TikTok is you'll follow someone or someone that you know, and they may post every single day and you may be stuck on the FYP and you may never see a video of theirs ever. I actually got a message from someone yesterday, yeah, yesterday, that said that they just refound me and they didn't know that I was still creating content. And I've been creating content for, I took about a 6 month break in 2024. But since then, it's been pretty consistent in the aspect of I've been at least pumping out something somewhere. Um, a lot of people, after my live streaming days ended in, my consistent live streaming days ended, a lot of people just haven't been able to find me, and I've just kind of fallen off face earth, and then eventually they just completely forget about me, which is fine. That makes sense. But yeah, no, it's just like the FYP kind of stops kicking you out, and it's just kicking out to people that you don't know. Which is funny how that platform, TikTok, has really been founded on. You're dealing more with people you don't know, but it's kicking towards people you may relate to type of situation. That's how you really get like the Disney communities and things like that. But it's crazy because I've heard lines along the way where people have said to me that like on TikTok they actually don't want people from their normal lives, like their regular everyday lives, to find their TikTok. And when they do, they actively block people. Like they like make it that they cannot see it. They're almost living like a double life. It's wild how TikTok is that way. Um, but yeah, it's very surprising, which kind of brings me to my next point. Because I said something that is interesting, where you kind of I feel like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but like it's very easy to live like a double life where it's like here's reality and then here's kind of your, I don't want to call it fantasy social media reality, but like the ideal world is they're the same. And I'll be completely honest. I tried to stay as close to as completely the same as possible throughout my social media journey. I try to post about things that I care about, and I post about things that if it was just my everyday life, I would be talking to people about it. Um, for example, today I just kind of saw a post, or I did see a post. I don't know how you kind of see a post. I saw a post. Something to do with the Disney cruises. And I've seen the video, the pop up on my story like 4 or 5 times. I haven't clicked on it because this is just me being completely honest. I don't care for cruises. I've never been on a cruise. A cruise is not my thing. I've heard about people that have gone on cruises and what happens and the whole runaround. It's just like, that's not my thing. I have no interest in the cruise. I'm not going to post about the cruise. Something's going on with the Disney cruise. I don't know what it is. But a lot of people are excited. That's awesome that they're excited. And cruises, they like them. They're into them. That's awesome. Not my thing. I like rides. I do rides. I try to focus as much as I possibly can on things that I care about, especially, when I was going live and I'm posting content. I post and I show what matters to me and like what I enjoy. So like when I'm inside the Disney parks, for example, um, I like going on rides and I like doing marathons and the things that I did on live streaming, like, going on Splash Mountain with Tiana's, 6 times in a row. You know, I I used to do that filming, not filming, going on Pirates a lot, going on Rise, going on Matterhorn, running around the park and trying to get as many rides done in 3 hours. Me filming it wasn't the driving force of it. I would be doing it anyways because that's what I did when I was in college. When I was in the parks, I was trying to get as many rides as I possibly could get done in a single day and running myself into the ground. Um, you know, those things I enjoy doing, and I enjoy trying different types of foods within the park and seeing what's good and what's not and creating favorites. As you guys probably saw throughout my content and throughout my live streams throughout the years, I'm not that big of a parade person. I think I only showed the parade 4 or 5 times, maybe, over 500 streams or whatever. So I'm not that much of a parade person. Like I like the shows. The shows are fun. I don't really interact with the characters. I don't really interact with the characters in real life. But if someone kind of just plops right in front of me, well, that's fun. But I'm not going to go out of my way to, do stuff like that. I don't stay at the Disney hotels. They're expensive. I think they're really cool, but like, you know, I'm not like the go-to hotel person. I still don't really know the hotels very well around the Anaheim area. And I'm not really the go-to person for that because I just don't have the experience for it. So, um, throughout my experience, I've tried my best to bring real life and social media together as one and creating something that is genuinely me, which kind of brings me to my next thing, and it's probably controversial in its own way, but I sometimes question, not only in the Disney community but overall TikTok and everything above, who would be creating if there was no money involved, if there was no opportunities to do certain things down the line. I'd be fascinated to see who was still creating or who would just bail at that moment. What is people's motives behind all of this and everything like that? Sometimes it's very easy to see, and sometimes it's a little harder. Um, but I sometimes question, especially on TikTok, because TikTok has evolved into something that has really created a love-hate relationship for me, because I feel like it is so money driven, which is sad because I always went into my live streams with the belief that create the best content that you possibly can. Um, People will enjoy it. and that was kind of my belief, was just create. And the way I did it was get on as many rides as you possibly can, and bring entertainment to whoever may not be at Disneyland or California Adventure. um, I wanted to share what I enjoyed, the rides, with as many people as possible. And it's really an interesting conversation of what if all of the money, like, just went away. Like, there was no gifting, there was no, hey, you get 1 million views, you get this amount of money coming your way. That on YouTube as well. I mean, it would be interesting who's creating content just for fun and showing their actual life, because so much of it is dressed up, and so much has become the news, and creating entertainment, in a way, independent entertainment, not connected to any studio or anything like that. Um, who is generally creating content for the good sport of it, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Um, yeah, so these things kind of go through my mind from time to time. Um, Also, going a little bit to the left here, March Madness is full in swing. And yes, I still print out my brackets here in 2024 or 2026. Jesus, I almost said 2024. My goodness, going back 2 years. 2026. Yeah, March Madness. We'll probably talk about that on Thursday. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Love just watching the college basketball. I think it's one of the best postseasons in sports. So much intensity, the upsets, and you just never know who is going to take it home. I got Arizona this year. Comment down below who you got, if you're into college sports at all. Also, the World Baseball Classic, United States cruising to the final. Very excited about that. We'll be watching that final on St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Should be a good time on that. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This is a little bit more of a social media episode. These are kind of thoughts that kind of were going through my mind over the weekend. It's just kind of the state of social media, what's next, what's going to be coming, and kind of looking at the past of it all. Just like, yeah, we really went from highlights to entertainment, and I kind of would rather go back to the highlights, just kind of the telling the truth of your life and, what's going on, and, not as dressed up. I would love to go back to that time. I just don't know if we ever will. So, social media has changed. It is what it is. Till tomorrow, have a wonderful Monday. If you have any comments, live streaming episode is probably going to be coming on Wednesday, I think. We'll see how the week plays out. I may go deep into the live streaming on Wednesday. Tomorrow, because St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be doing favorite characters that are green, that are from the Disney world. So favorite characters that are green tomorrow, live streaming episode on Wednesday, and then Thursday, probably talking some sports. But let's see. Breaking news can always happen, and that can always make me pivot somewhere along the way. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.